And welcome back to this channel, everybody. I'm Brant.
I'm Lisa.
And this is Brant versus Lisa, Rated and Ranked, where we're talking about books that came out on February 6, 2019. So, those books were...
The ones we're covering.
Yes. Yes, they are the ones we're covering. But they were Champions issue number 2, Young Justice issue number 2, Unnatural number 7, Age of X-Men, Marvelous X-Men number 1, and...
Did you say Young Justice?
I did. What's the other one?
Oh, Girl in the Bay.
Yes, The Girl in the Bay, number 1. I'm glad, because I can't remember. Those are the 5 books that we're talking about. But this week, we did something different. As you guys, if you watched the most anticipated video, which if you didn't, you can find a link in the description below. We decided to do an honorable mention apiece. So we actually technically have 7 books. So we're going to start off with the honorable mentions, and then we'll go into the top 5 and see where all that fell. But I didn't say this part. These are books that we both pick one that we want to read, we pick one that we want the other person to read, and we pick one together, giving us 5 typically. All right, so honorable mentions. Your honorable mention was
Archie.
Issue 702.
So, I didn't remember the number.
No, that's fine. So what did you think of this issue?
I liked it. There was a lot. There was too much of Betty and Veronica trying to figure out who Archie's dating.
Okay. Interesting take. Did you like it better or worse than the last issue? I'm just curious.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I gave it a 3.
Okay. I actually gave it a 3.5.
Oh.
I liked it better than the first issue.
Oh.
I thought it felt a little bit more like the Archie that I'm familiar with and less of that Riverdale feel for this issue.
That's probably why I didn't like it as well.
So I liked it more. I do agree that they went a little overboard. Oh, we got to find out who, and then, oh, it must be Midge, and it was totally out of character for Betty to say, I'm looking up spy cams. Come on, that's not Betty. That's never Betty.
Yeah, it was just so much of that. It was like half of the book was that.
It was.
So that annoyed me a little. I
did enjoy the fact that they were sitting there trying to figure out who it was, and Sabrina walks right by them.
Yeah, that was the best part.
And gets food to take out, and they're like, it's Midge.
It should have all taken place there at Pops when they were trying to figure it out, instead of having a whole discussion about it at school before.
I will say there is a continuity flaw, because in Mark Waid's run, briefly, ever so briefly, Dilton and Betty dated, yet Betty was very surprised that Dilton was a good kisser.
Oh. I didn't know that one. So.
But no, I enjoyed it better than the first issue. So, and evidently I enjoyed it better than you. So that's.
I did like the Cheryl stuff.
Cheryl and Jason and Josie and the Pussycats.
We find out a little bit about what's going on with Jason.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was an interesting twist.
Yeah.
So, my honorable mention was Oberon number 1 from Aftershock Comics, brand new series. I actually really enjoyed it. I mean, it didn't blow me away. I also gave it 3.5 stars.
I gave it 4.
Oh, okay. So you gave it 4. I'm probably being a little hard on it.
It's my kind of book.
Yeah, exactly. And I knew it would be. I knew you'd enjoy it. I like the concept of it and everything. I'm not in love with Oberon himself.
Yeah.
And he was like the lead narrator throughout the book, and
I think that's kind of the point, though.
Yeah, no, I get that. I love all the other stuff, and I get that. He's kind of, her Rumpelstiltskin, if you watch Once Upon a Time, kind of, in a way. So I understand that, and I like the story. Yeah. I don't know, it just didn't blow me away enough, but I really enjoyed it. I mean, give it 3.5 stars. It's not a low rating by any means, so I just enjoyed some other books more. Yeah. And I'm trying to weigh this, unlike you, because you only read these 7. I'm trying to weigh it against everything I read for Frontline Live, so it fell a little bit lower, but I did enjoy it. So
that's cool. I liked the art a lot.
Yeah, the art was really nice.
It's really pretty.
And I like the girl. I can't remember her name.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
But I do like her, and the fact that she's kind of smart as a whip.
Yeah.
And she realized right along, you aren't my parents. Well, you're lying to me.
Yeah.
And the whole, I love it when she's like, I hope this is a good idea, going into his magic coat and stuff like that.
That was cute.
And it was not a good idea. Yeah, it was really cute. So, all right. So into our top 5 rated and ranked books of the week.
Okay.
All right.
I think it's your turn to go first.
You always say that every week.
I think last week I went first. Maybe.
I think I did, but it's okay. I'll go first. My number 5 unsurprisingly, is Marvelous X-Men #1, which, surprise, surprise, I gave 3 1/4.
3 1/4.
So I did enjoy it. What'd you? Oh, it is. That's not your number 5, though.
No.
All right, I did enjoy it more than Age of X-Men Alpha.
You ranked it higher than I did.
Wow. See? So I enjoyed elements of it. I still like the concept of where they're going with it. I don't like the art. I think it's very simple. There's like waste of space. Like that one scene where they're running through the hallways. Like it felt like one of those cartoons where they're running from door to door, and it was like, really, you're gonna show that? That's just.
I still like the art.
This whole utopian thing. I like the aspect of somebody's out there that knows that things aren't what they seem, and it's so weird that it's Apocalypse. That's who Insabanur is.
That's who?
Insabanur, the one that's chanting in her head.
I don't know anything about Apocalypse.
I know. Insabanur is Apocalypse's real name.
Okay.
So it's interesting that he's the one trying to set them on the course that love is okay and everything, which is just totally backwards. But like I said, there's parts of it that I enjoy, but I don't like the storytelling style in this book. I don't like this creative team at all. But still, I gave it the benefit of the doubt, and I scored it higher than you did. So there you go. So what was your number 5?
It was Young Justice.
Of course.
I gave it a 3, too. They were kind of even for me. It just felt weird and disjointed because jumping back and forth.
From the Gym World stuff to the
stuff with Wonder Girl, which was good. I liked that part. That was probably my favorite part. The art was not the same, and that always throws me a little bit.
It was 2 different artists in the book that worked on it. It was Emanuela Lupacchino and I just had him in my head, and I just lost who it was. It's a veteran artist, and I can't think of his name. But
it wasn't bad. Yeah. But the coloring style was slightly different in both, and it was just like... But I guess I can understand. They're on a different world, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that happened in the first issue, where they just so conveniently run into each other. I know you have to bring the team together, but...
I thought it was handled a little bit better here, and I'll go ahead and talk about this, because this is actually my number 4.
Okay.
Let me make sure I'm right. Yeah, that's my number 4, which I did give it 4 stars.
Oh.
So I did enjoy it. So that tells you how high I ranked the rest of my books are, but I did enjoy it. I didn't think it was quite as good as last issue. I thought, well, no, I take that back. I said it even in my review. I like this better than last issue. Because last issue I thought was a little bit more disjointed, but I understand where you're coming from with that, the bouncing back and forth. I don't care about Gym World.
Yeah.
That's my problem with it. Were you going to say something?
I was just going to say, because it started with the Gym World people talking about lots of crap that I don't know about. Opals and...
Yeah, see, I don't either. That's the thing. I have no clue who... I don't even know who Amethyst is. You're more familiar with her.
Is, but I don't know anyone else.
Yeah, I'm just not... I don't care either.
Yeah. So it jumped from that to the Wonder Girl stuff.
Yeah.
Well, to the Ginny Hex, to the Wonder Girl, back to the Ginny Hex.
Yeah. I thought the stuff with Ginny Hex and Teen Lantern and Wonder Girl was funny, and I love the backstory of Wonder Girl. That was like the best, like you said, the best part of the issue. I want to know more about what's going on with that, with the amulet and all this stuff, what Zeus is wanting really from her.
What he's up to.
Yeah, exactly. And I can't wait until next issue where we find out where the heck Connor's been.
Yeah.
So I think it's building somewhere, and I thought, like I said, I thought it came together a little bit better this issue. But I do completely understand where you're coming from, the bouncing back and forth.
And I guess the fact that we see Robin, but he's barely there.
Yeah. He was at the beginning.
I know.
Which I missed the first time through.
And then they mention him when they all run into each other.
Yeah.
But he barely says anything. Mm-hmm. It's all about the girls this time. But I guess that's fine. It just...
Well, I mean, 2 of them are new characters, and one of them hasn't been seen for a while. So he's trying to kind of re-engage you, and introduce you to those characters, which I understand. But I agree, there should be equal screen time.
But maybe it's because last time we were like, it was too focused on Ginny. Mm-hmm. And this time it was Wonder Girl. So maybe he's doing that on purpose. Yeah. And if that's the case, I would really like it. Yeah. And reading it in trade would be really
each issue is a spotlight issue kind of on each character.
I bet that is what it's
And next one's going to be Connor. So.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right.
Your number 4.
It was X-Men.
Okay.
So I liked the last issue better.
Okay, so you gave it 3?
Yeah, I gave it 3. I like the art still. I can, now that I know more about X-Man and he's controlling everything, and the baby thing was weird still.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of cool in the first issue, and then I see it and it's weirder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it seemed much more sinister in this issue.
Yeah.
But that's the point.
Right.
I get it.
He's
that's the point.
Everything,
but
yeah.
I don't enjoy stories as much that way.
Okay.
Because he's wiping their memories and crap.
And that's probably going to start making noise here in a minute.
I can go mute it.
We'll see if it does anything. PlayStation, it just popped on. It was downloading something, and I'm afraid it's going to start blaring. But you also messaged me like right when you started reading it. What happened to Colossus' arm?
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know. But it's so weird because this is supposed to be a utopian.
I'll go mute it.
This is supposed to be a utopian world. Why would he be missing half his arm? It doesn't make any sense. I'm not sure what the reason behind that is.
I hadn't thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like they should have figured out a way to give it back to him, or what?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's not missing it in main continuity. That's the weird thing.
And they're supposed to be tied together right now.
How
or
so?
is this like a sort of side story?
This is kind of X-Men rewriting reality. So I don't know exactly. It's complicated. Okay. I don't know. We don't even know.
He must have lost it in recent issues, right, or something. No, he just randomly doesn't have an arm.
Right.
Okay.
Like I said, he rewrote history, and everybody's a mutant on the entire planet.
Yeah.
But we don't know where this is exactly taking place because in Uncanny X-Men, he kind of possessed Legion, and he was somehow able to. Legion has this ability to somehow transport people, like their bodies and everything, within himself into like this like pocket universe within himself. So I wonder if X-Men has done the same thing, and they're just kind of. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know the reasoning behind anything. Hopefully we'll get answers as it goes forward. So, all right, let's go on to your number 3.
Okay. My 3 was Champions.
Okay.
I gave it 3 1/4. I could probably give it 3 1/2.
You're being a harder critic than I am.
Yeah.
I think I'm having this thing this week, and I was talking about it because Jay on Comic Frontline is always honest. He's like, I think I enjoy my comics more, and we're like, no, you just read more, so the ones you really like, you really like. But this week, I've just like really enjoyed my books.
Yeah.
And I liked a lot of them because the rest of them were like Mike and Kat were like, everything was just kind of average. I'm like, man, I got like 2 4.5-star books. What are you guys reading?
Yeah.
But I think it's the same case here. I'm like, just like, I'm on cloud 9 with my books this week. Maybe it's because I'm feeling better finally.
Maybe.
But, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I liked it. I don't know. I was a little confused as to where it fell. I'm assuming this happened before the last issue.
Yeah, because I feel like last issue, it was a jump ahead a little bit, or it was maybe that was present day, and then they kind of teased you with the Mephisto thing at the end.
So this had to have happened.
Yeah, this jumps back and filled that gap in to tell you what happened.
So this issue really, if you go back and read the first issue, all that's happening, it happened right after this.
Right.
So that's why Miles was so weird.
Yeah, and why Kamala was upset with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she doesn't understand.
Right.
Yeah. So I thought the stakes were higher in this book, so it felt more real to me than Young Justice.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
So that's why it's higher for me. I liked it. The art was really nice too, which is always good for me.
Okay. All right, so my number 3 is Unnatural number 7, which I also gave 4 stars. Okay. I enjoyed this issue.
I could go ahead and say it's my number 2.
Okay. So we'll just talk about it together then. I enjoyed this issue. Of course, the art is always gorgeous in this book. That's a given. You don't even have to talk about that. The art is just amazing.
Right.
The writing, I thought this issue was stronger than the last issue. Last issue I felt was like stalling a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
In this issue, we actually got progression. We got some really drastic things happen.
Major.
And we got some betrayal Possibly we got some, casualties potentially. We got to know more about what's going on with Leslie.
Yeah.
And what's at stake for her and going forward. And it's just, things have really heated up.
And one of my theories proved to be wrong.
Yeah, one of your theories proved to be wrong. So now we don't know who's under the mask, which is interesting. So I really enjoyed this issue. I thought it was one of the better ones in the past few, I think. It definitely, it just came back these 2 issues, but definitely the stronger issue of this second part of the story.
Yeah, I agree with that. It was not as... What was that, the first issue maybe, where her best friend is killed?
No, that wasn't the first issue. That was
It wasn't quite as surprising as that.
Yeah, no.
What happened, but it was still like, wow.
Yeah, I think that might have been like the 3rd issue or something.
Yeah, maybe. Sorry to have spoiled it if you haven't read it yet. But yeah, I liked it a lot. What is his name? The guy that's inside of her.
I can't remember now.
I can't remember, but that's really progressing, and that's interesting.
Yeah.
How much he's able to take over.
Right.
Now, growing stronger somehow. And
yeah.
we still don't know what he wants, really.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, it was interesting.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that was your number 2 as well. So my number 2 was Champions, which I gave 4 1/4. I really enjoyed this issue. I thought it was so much better than the last issue, and I liked last issue. But this one, like you said, the stakes were higher, and the emotional it resonated with me. They lost their friends basically. If you haven't read it, a couple of the members actually die in the story, which is where Mephisto comes in. And to see Miles and Amadeus, I couldn't think of his name. To see Miles and Amadeus just kind of wrenched, and you get those flashbacks to past volumes where those scenes played out, and it was just like, oh man, this is just, it's breaking your heart. And then Miles is faced with that tough decision, and again, a Spider character falls to that trap of trying to save the ones they love. And Mephisto's right there to hand it all to them, and that kind of leads into, if you read issue 1, that's how that happened. And man, it was so emotional and so heavy, and so like, oh my god, how are they going to get out of this, and what are the repercussions here? And we already saw one at the last page. I don't know if you noticed it. I don't want to spoil it, so I'll have to tell you about it afterwards.
Okay.
I'll put it like this: somebody gets saved. Yeah. So there are definitely repercussions, and I think because we got to see that close-up, that's going to have some kind of after effect later on.
Right.
So, strong storytelling here, I think.
I think so, too.
All right.
It was very good.
So, I guess both of our number 1s is the same.
I guess so.
Wow. What did you grade it before we talked?
I gave it 4 1/4.
I gave it 4 1/2.
Oh, really?
The Girl in the Bay, number 1 from Dark Horse.
Yeah.
It's a Berger Books. Karen Berger used to be over Vertigo. It's written by James DeMatteis and art by Corin Howell. And before that, if you do like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe and notification bell
I didn't know where he was going.
So you get updates on all the videos coming up to the channel. This book, we were both really interested in it just by the concept and the cover art. And we didn't get to see any preview or anything, so we really didn't know what to expect. But, man, this book actually kind of blew me away.
Yeah, I was really happy with the art, the interior art. I was worried because we couldn't find a preview, like you said.
Right. The art was really solid.
Yeah.
And I thought like the emotions on Kathy, that's the main character's face.
Yeah.
Throughout it, but she went through a whole range of emotions throughout this issue, and I thought every single one of them was nailed dead on. Mm-hmm. I thought the backgrounds of Brooklyn, both in 1969 and 2019, were really solid, and it's James DeMatteis. He probably, I think he mentioned in the back he was doing a write up that he actually grew up in the area or something. So the storytelling, he already had that experience.
Yeah.
Whether Corin Howell is that familiar with Brooklyn or if she used Google, who knows? But I still thought it was a very very accurate, as far as I know, of the neighborhoods and things like that, and the way that the buildings were the same because New York is one of those cities where all the buildings are the same, and it's kind of, you know what I mean, like the apartment buildings and things like that. Residential areas. So seeing it.
I forget the name of those houses. Row houses or something.
Yeah.
Kind of. Sometimes.
Brownstones. Yeah, but the apartments that she lived in, we got to see them 50 years apart, and they look the same but different at the same time. So it's I thought that was handled really well in the art.
The main reason I didn't rate it higher was I thought the very beginning was a little bit rushed.
Okay.
Like from when it started to what happened to her.
Okay.
At the very beginning, just like I don't know, or I didn't give you quite long enough to.
You didn't feel connected to her?
Not quite as much as I should have.
I disagree with that. I think that they gave us just enough, and the whole point of it was what happened at the very beginning, which they flash back to or flash forward to again.
Right.
Which was her. It's in the description of the book. It's the death and resurrection of her.
Yeah.
I thought what that whole point was she was kind of remembering things as she was in the water.
Yeah.
That's how I took it. Like, we got the opening scene where she's in the water and she's drowning, and then we get it played out in her head like those last moments before you die. That's how I took it. So that in that way it would be kind of fast, that you'd be replaying your life and how you got to that point. So she was kind of telling us the story of how she ended up there, and they really captured that era really well. I mean, she was kind of a hippie, into the drugs and the rock and roll and the the meanings behind the music and all that kind of stuff that was common in that era. Referenced a lot of things that happened in that era as well, the Manson murders and things like that, Summer of Love, and then kind of ended up falling in love under an acid trip.
See, that's what I mean. But yeah, you're right. She was high.
She was on an acid trip, and who knows what was actually going on. We don't know. I think that's going to be revealed throughout it. But and she could have been the first victim of the Manson murders. They did reference it. Who knows? It could lead to something else. But then there's this other figure going around, coming out of mirrors and stuff. Just like, what's going on there?
That's the part I liked. It sort of mingles a bunch of things that I like. The true crime, but there's a supernatural kind of bend to it.
Exactly.
So it was interesting.
And then just the whole emotional roller coaster that she went to when she came back.
Right.
And it's 50 years later, and she comes face to face with somebody that she's not expecting to see. And I don't want to spoil that because it's a big thing. And it's just like throws her into, and it throws the reader, because it was a twist that I wasn't even expecting. It was like, okay, what just happened here then? Because it's not it doesn't go the direction you think it's going.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be something else.
Yeah, exactly. So really, really strong, powerful story, interesting story. Only 4 issues. That's the only bad thing.
Oh,
it's a mini series.
Okay.
But I'm so intrigued to see what happens here. I wish they had more issues to tell the story, because I think you could take it out to a maxi series at least.
Yeah, I think that would fix my problems with it too.
Maybe,
because you could expand a few of these areas,
and that could explain why it was a little condensed there.
It does.
But still, I thought it was very strong. One of my favorite books of the week so far.
Yeah.
So.
And it definitely ended on making you want to read more.
Yeah, for a couple of reasons.
Page.
Yeah, the page itself, and just like everything that had gone on, you just like that twist. You want to know what the heck just happened, why. So
and who that girl is.
Exactly. So very good book. I highly recommend it. We both do.
Yeah,
so go check it out. Yeah. All right. So that's it. Let us know in the comments below if you agree or disagree with our picks, with our ratings and all that good stuff. We'd love to know what you thought of these books, and what your favorite book of the week was as well. And if you want to find out my definitive top 5, join us on the 5-year anniversary celebratory episode of Frontline Live over on Comment Frontline's YouTube channel. We're celebrating 5 years with all kinds of cool stuff. We got exclusive content coming. We got announcements. We got all kinds of cool stuff. But I'll leave that, you can find a link in the description below. I just did want to plug that real quick. But other than that, you can follow me at Brant Fowler on Facebook and Twitter. Both of us at Last of Our Press on Instagram. And until next time, thanks for watching. We'll see you real soon. Bye. And welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Brant.
I'm Lisa.
And this is Brant versus Lisa, rated and ranked for the week of February 6th, 2019. And these are the books that came out on February 6th. Jeez, really? I had it.
Briefly.
We're going to get this right. Take two. These are books that we both pick one.
Sorry. Wow. Sorry.
Top left.